Excellence. How are you guys? Happy Friday. It's a rainy Friday. The will to win is important, but the will to prepare is vital. Today we have here an eminent guest, and Mia will talk about real estate law. But before that, let me introduce you to the CEO, producer, and director of KacyCExcel Canada and the Kacy TV show, Kacy. Chohan, welcome to your own show.
Thank you very much, Rida. Welcome, Maria Morvai. Yes, everybody, this is your lead to excellence with my 3Ds: diligence, dedication, and determination. The new year is gonna end, and the COVID has almost ended. The motivation is there, the positivity is there, and yes, we've got here, the law is reason from passion. It's your lead to justice. Your very access to justice is Maria, short name Mia. Welcome, Mia.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
Mia, tell us more about you, please.
Yeah, so I'm a lawyer. I'm a founding principal of the legal practice called MMA Law Firm. We're located in Vaughan and Richmond Hill, Ontario. We specialize in real estate, business law, corporate transactions, but mostly real estate. And we are here to, address all your legal concerns and answer all your questions and talk about real estate today.
Oh wow, that sounds really interesting. But how did you really get passionate about law?
Actually, I got passionate about law when I was in school, in high school. We did have law as one of the selective courses in high school. It was one of my favorite courses because it was challenging, it was interactive, it was interesting, and I think it was probably just my favorite course at the time. And then I just went along with what I felt passionate about.
Wow. So what really made you open your own law firm?
That is such a good question, because as the lawyer you have options to work for someone else and or for government or be in-house. And I have tried some of those options. I worked in-house with a real estate developer. I wanted to try and see how can the life be for the lawyer who is outside of the private practice.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it has always been my goal to work one-on-one with the clients, mm-hmm. and help client along the way and just be there for them as their personal legal advisor. So the best way to do that was through opening your own practice, because this way you're just deal with your clients directly and you bypass the middleman in between. So that has always been a dream of mine, to be the owner of my own practice, and finally it came true.
So she's an entrepreneur. The very difference between barrister, solicitor, notary, and real estate.
Yeah.
Educate us.
Of course. Yeah, of course. It's a very good question.
Mm-hmm.
So in common law, we have here, so basically lawyers in common law jurisdiction, they have to be barristers and solicitors. So you have to pass 2 exams when you're being admitted to the bar. You have to pass the barrister exam and the solicitor exam. Mm-hmm. So there are different courses fall under those 2 different umbrellas. So real estate usually falls under the solicitor portion, which is usually more related to like an office job. There is the barrister. You would be referring to someone who goes to the court and stands in front of the bar. That's where the barrister term comes from. Yeah. So you actually have to pass both exams in order to be called to the bar in Ontario.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, so once you are admitted to the bar, you become a licensed barrister and solicitor. Mm-hmm. You get to choose your specialization. Mm-hmm. So you get to decide what kind of lawyer you want to be, which area of law you want to do. Every lawyer has some sort of specialization, unless there's some general practitioners out there. That being said, to be really good in something, you really want to specialize on this topic for a very long time. Mm-hmm. So to be a very good real estate lawyer, you do have to have some sort of specialty in real estate. Mm-hmm. So the specialty comes from work experience. Usually people start specializing in something when they article at a specific law firm. They've been trained, they've been coached, and then they take it to their junior practice, and then they take it to the senior level.
Wow, that sounds interesting.
Yes.
Mia has been practicing law in Canada for 13 years, and of course in your home country for 12 years.
So basically in my home country, which is Estonia, you get to do law degree as your undergrad.
Oh, okay.
So I went to university to study law. I was probably about 19 years old,
Oh,
and I
wow.
got a side job at Legal Information Center for Human Rights. So that was not to disclose my age, about 20 years.
You have to.
Yeah.
You look pretty, you look young,
Yeah.
and that's more important. The service is more important, and coming to a young individual, youth, and that's where we get the help, so you feel more close and you can relate more. So everybody, happiness is being a lawyer and loving, and you all can see how happy she seems. Happiness because she's rendered her service to the clients, and there are happy clients out there. So real estate is one of the very field everybody wants to buy a home. Everybody ends up buying a home. Everybody is still buying homes and homes and homes, one after the another. So I'm sure that's a good business out there, but why did you specifically choose real estate?
Yeah, that is another very good question.
Thank you.
So when I started working here in Canada at the law firms, various law firms, I did get exposure to different areas of law. I did do a little bit of litigation. I did do wills and estates. I still do wills and estates a lot. And I did do some family law, and I even did some personal injury. And out of all the scope of everything I've experienced, real estate seemed to be more matching my personality.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a very fast pace. It's you have to stay on top of things. You have to maintain control over so many details, but it's also very fast paced. Usually you only get a few weeks from the moment you get the file to the moment you close the file, and you do have many files on the go, so you do need to have a certain personality to deal with real estate. You have to be fast, you have to think on your feet, on your toes, you have to always be in communication with your client, you have to enjoy communicating with your clients. Plus, you have to always maintain self-education, because real estate changes all the time. All the law we have coming out all the time changes, in tax legislation. As I'm sure you're aware of, non-resident speculation tax came to life a couple of years ago, and things like that. So it really is the matter of personality. Also, I didn't feel that I have the litigator qualities to my personality, which you would have to be a certain kind of person to be able to go to the court. Wasn't necessarily my thing. I don't feel that I'm a litigator. I feel like I'm more on just the transactional side of things. I'm good at, I'm a good organizer. I'm good at staying on top of things. Plus, I like something that gets accomplished in a short period of time.
Wow. And of course, with her pretty looks, with her personality, charming personality, and a lawyer, what else? An intellectual woman out there. Over to Rida with the issues. Yes, Rida.
So I've seen that many of the individuals are not advised well in terms of real estate, and to close a house or to buy a house, you need a real estate lawyer. And many people are very naive into understanding what is the housing market. Did I sell it the right way? Did I have the right advice? Will I actually be closing my house, and will I actually get the keys at the allotted time? Because that's the biggest issue we see. And I've seen majority of the times people do get their keys, and hopefully everything is well. So what are the issues which you have seen in real estate, and what are the mitigations along with it?
Yeah, so it's an interesting process. It usually starts for home purchasers from when purchasers or vendors from usually approaching the real estate agent. So usually real estate agent is the first step on the way. And oftentimes they will be talking to the real estate agent and seeking the advice from the real estate agent on many topics. That being said, it's right in the agreement of purchase and sale, the standard form ORIA of the agreement of purchase and sale. It's right there that real estate agents are not allowed to give legal advice. They're not allowed to give tax advice. So it really is buyer beware kind of thing. So you do have to do your own due diligence, and you do have to do your own research. And you have to be aware and surprisingly, people still are not aware, many of them, that you do need to have a lawyer, barrister, and solicitor in order to close your purchase or sale transaction of the real estate. Not necessarily for the refinance, especially if you renew or you go with institutional lender, but definitely for purchase or sale. This is just how the law is structured in Ontario procedurally. You do need to have a licensed lawyer in order to do that. So the sooner you reach out to the lawyer, the sooner you find the right match for you yourself, the better. As I mentioned, the real estate agent cannot be giving you the advice on many matters, legal matters, tax matters. It really should be your lawyer, plus you also have to do your own research, because obviously there is so much information out there, and you do need to be aware of, you know, various things. There are a lot of great sources. I even have a lot of sources on my website. I do give a little bit of a general overview of things you need to be aware of. Having a good counsel is really very important, because you need to have someone you should be able to give a call at any point in time if you have a question. You need to have someone who is approachable, who is willing to help, and it's very important to have a good lawyer, you know, from the very beginning.
But according to my knowledge and what I've seen is that real estate sales rep has a team of lawyers, of bankers, of B lenders, A lenders, and they work with that team to get the house closed, open and closed, right? So I haven't heard of any buyer going directly to a real estate lawyer saying that, hey, I want you to be my lawyer, please guide me and help me if this is the right way to do it. That's like really done.
It's a good point. Yeah, it's oftentimes your real estate agent will be the one who will recommend the lawyer. That being said, they're not allowed to
give legal advice.
Yeah, they're not allowed to give legal advice as well, but also they're not allowed to force a lawyer onto you. It's your choice whom you retain. Really, it should really be limited to them recommending someone or just providing the referral. But at the end of the day, it should be your decision. And a lot of lawyers, home buyers who do that ongoingly, if they buy, sell, they usually have their go-to lawyer, who's usually being a lawyer for the family or a friend, someone who came recommended. And of course, your real estate agent can recommend someone who is great, and there are no doubts about that. And if you trust this person, go ahead with that. But you're free to make your own choice, and you should be able to make your free choice.
So how do you actually find those clients out there who would actually believe in your service and believe in your advice? Because like I said, you have to have a team of qualified, educated, experienced real estate team who actually is well known in the GTA, because of the housing market is bombarded now, it's going up really, very high, 1.7, 1.8, and it's really tough to make that decision. Hey, I don't know what real estate law is. You have a team, you help me. So do you actually work with your own clients, or do you work with real estate agents who would come up to you and be like, would you actually close a deal?
I do have agents that come like this, for sure. I do have return clients. For example, you worked with someone, you helped them on refinance, and then 2 months later they buy the house, they'll come back to me. Or you did an ILA for them 2 years ago, and now they come back to you again. I do get referrals from mortgage brokers too, so that's mostly for refinances. I do get referrals clients from just my family and friends. I've been doing it for a few years now here in Ontario, so I do have my established networking, and people just send me, if their family member or the friend is purchasing or selling, they will recommend me, and a lot of people will come to me. But yes, of course, the real estate agents are always a great source of referral.
Sounds good. And I also know that you also paint. That's your hobby. So do you have some additional, I would say, additional hobby except of real estate? You also like to paint. How did that come into play? Combining both together.
I started painting when during the lockdown, 2020. I actually didn't have time for anything other than my job and my studies before. But then the lockdown happened, and I found myself in the basement of my own house having a lot of free time on my hands. And I asked myself, what is it that I always enjoyed? I always enjoyed creating things and painting things. So I started painting and I started creating. In a very short period of time, I was able to create a few very good paintings, and I got encouraged by support of family and friends who said that looks great. And you get in a very different state of mind. I think it's important especially for people that have a heavily intellectual daily duties, so to say, just to disconnect from your brain and completely do something that is completely disconnected from your rational thinking, and just helps you to let go. It's almost like a meditation of some sorts.
I love that work-life balance where you are mentally so fatigued with the 9 to 5 job. Like, what can I do differently apart from my daily chores, like daily tasks? And painting, sketching, that's a very good, I would say, an idea to just, try something new, stay positive, keep smiling, growing your network, and most of all, staying positive, even if you face the biggest negativity. But it's all about staying positive.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
The trouble with law is lawyers. How true is that, Ramya?
Trouble with law is lawyers. I like that. Well, I don't think there's there's always a human factor in everything.
Yeah, so that's the big part which you want to know.
Lawyers are just humans. So, they're humans, but they're humans that are very goal-oriented, very dedicated, very hard workers. Mm-hmm. And, they're really there for their clients to provide access to justice to their clients. And it has to be a call. It has to be your calling. It has to be something you're meant to do in order to be a good lawyer, because it's very mentally challenging thing to do. You do get a lot of phone calls and complaints, not on your services necessarily, but you do deal with people at a very stressful period of their lifetime. Yeah. So you do have to be sensitive in how you approach them and how you deal with the situation. You almost to some degree become their good friend for the short period of time, someone they trust fully, because they do have to trust you and believe in you in order to just allow you to close their house, right, for a few $1 million. You do need to build this connection. You do need to be a human person to be good at it. And I believe that most of the lawyers are good human people, especially those who build up connections with their clients.
We always see movies, we see Hollywood, we see Bollywood, and we often see lawyers as lying to win their case, making their client win whatsoever. So the lying part, which is very much reflective to the lawyers. How true is that? Do you people can really lie in Canada in order to win a case?
It's a difficult topic.
Be careful.
Yeah, it's a difficult topic because, I don't do litigation, as I said. I only do transactional law. In transactional law, we don't really get to this level where we need to argue about things. Transactional lawyers are meant to work as the team because we share the same goal. It's the same goal that we work towards. We work towards closing the transaction in a timely manner. So we don't argue. Even though nowadays, I have to be honest, it happens more and more often because of the hot market we deal with. A lot of people enter purchases without any conditions, and when the purchaser buys the house without inspection and then later on discovers issues with the house before closing, some of them decide that the lawyer may be able to change things and maybe get abatement to purchase price or something. It's very unlikely because real estate lawyers, they just go by the agreement of purchase and sale, what's written in the agreement of purchase and sale. So sometimes we are being put in a situation where the expectation is that we have to go and argue, which is unfortunately not always possible. That being said, transactional lawyers don't do litigation, and the lawyers that do litigation go to court. They have some different rules that are applicable to them, but we do all abide by rules of professional conduct, which clearly set out that you have to be cautious, you have to be honest, and there's a whole set of limitations on what the lawyer is allowed to do in Ontario. And the big guy is looking. Wow. So you have to be definitely very careful with what you say and how you say that. Yeah.
So what has your biggest hurdle been? With your personal experiences.
My biggest
Hurdle in doing managing.
struggle in doing law.
Yeah.
Or
maybe with a client, closing a deal, something like that.
Well, in real estate law, in what I do, the biggest challenge we'll face is doing that in a timely manner, because we do have to close, because time is of the essence in real estate. So you do have to make sure you have everything in place by the time of closing. Sometimes it's not that easy to meet the timelines for some reasons that are outside of our control. So that in the real estate, that time being of the essence puts a lot of pressure on lawyers, because you can't really miss the timeline. In litigation, they have the same struggle, because they do have to file court documents by a certain period of time. So that always is the matter of being very organized, and if you miss that timeline, it's you kind of expose yourself a little bit to professional liability. So, you know, it is a little bit stressful situation, but other than that, I mean, it's really the matter of being a good professional, being experienced, being dedicated, and everything is doable.
Wow. So how do you see yourself different among other lawyers? Why would somebody come to you? Because we see every other people are buying, there are real estate agents and as many lawyers. So why you?
Well, first of all, I have a lot of experience, and it's a little bit unique situation to have a young person like myself with them newer practice with that many years of experience doing that. What I see from like my friends that they usually get into sole proprietorship after they graduate law school, or maybe just 2-3 years after they work somewhere else. So for me, I've been many years of working for someone else. So I think I've seen most of the inside outs of the transactional real estate. And I actually do work myself hands-on on every file that I deal with, which is also quite unusual for Ontario. Usually the real estate lawyers trust their law clerks or assistants to deal with the file. I'm very hands-on and I'm very in control, and I trust that I can provide the best services for my clients. I'm always available on the phone 24/7. I always get phone calls on the weekends. I sign up clients on the weekends, and I will drive out to the client, meet with them at their convenient location, everything free of charge. And I do provide flat fees. I'm very upfront and honest about how much I'm going to charge. You will never have to deal with any secret hidden charges when you deal with me. Everything is disclosed completely on my website and in my retainer letter that I'll send out to my clients. So I do practice full transparency. I want people to know where I stand and what are they going to get if they will choose me to close their transaction.
Wow, what's your website, Marnia?
It's www.mmalaw.ca.
That's the one. So, yeah, we hear you, we see you're beautiful, and we also have this feeling any real estate lawyer got to be rich. So this business really does make you rich. For youth out there who want to become lawyers in Canada, would you just suggest how to and what should they be doing in order to become lawyers here in Canada?
Yes, especially you can become lawyer in Canada even if you got the law degree from other jurisdiction, which is a fantastic thing. If you got the law degree from India or wherever you're from, there is a way for you to become a lawyer in Canada, which is fantastic. You do have to go through a certain process. You have to go through the National Committee of Accreditation. They will tell you exactly what you're going to have to do. It's a little bit of a process, but if you want to practice law here, I recommend you try it out and see if that's for you. And then you will have an option to complete a shorter law degree here in Canada, or I call it a short law degree. It's a little bit of a different degree. You can get a master's degree in law, which in combination with your law degree from home jurisdiction may qualify you to become a lawyer, barrister, and solicitor in Ontario. Or, of course, you can just go for a traditional way of becoming a lawyer by doing undergrad and passing your LSAT and doing the law school here in Ontario. Now we have a new law school in Ryerson, so we do have quite a few law schools in Ontario. So you can do that. And some people, they choose to go to England or Australia. to get the law degrees, and that might also be interesting way of doing it because you get exposure to different cultures and you get to travel and create new connections, and also eventually become a lawyer here in Ontario.
So basically Canada is an immigrant country, right? We've got people coming over from all over the world.
Right.
So they have degrees from back home. Okay, how long does it take? Or do they really have to redo all the education, or just with some exams they are ready and they become lawyers?
Yeah, with law it's hard to tell because it's individual. The National Committee of Accreditation will review each diploma individually. Like for example, with me, I can share my experience. My law degree was from Estonia, Tallinn. I graduated from University of Tartu, and I got a degree in law, which is from Estonia, which is a civil jurisdiction. Originally, when I came to Canada in 2008, I was told because I'm from civil jurisdiction, I have no chances of becoming a lawyer in a common law, Commonwealth country and common law jurisdiction. Over time, the rules have changed, and Law Society opened up a little bit more to immigrants than newcomers. And I was able to go through the process, and by getting my master's degree from Osgood, master's degree in common law specifically, because I was from civil law jurisdiction, and getting additional NCA courses and credits, I was able to accomplish. It took me overall, I want to say probably about just the study alone. Preparation probably took about a year because you do have to pass English language exam, and collect all the documents that you need to collect, and submit application in time, and then you wait for another enrollment process. So it probably took about maybe 6 months to a year. The law degree itself took about 2 years, but I worked full-time as I studied full-time too. It took just under 2 years, then articles 10 months. And then I did my bar exams as I articled. So I guess altogether, like what, 4 years?
4 years, 4 years. So after having a degree from back home is 4 more years.
For me, it was, for someone it might be shorter, for someone it might be faster.
Okay, and it's expensive, of course, right? The law degree?
Expensive?
Yes. So do you get any funding to get the degree?
Yeah, you can get funding. Yeah, I think you can. You might qualify for. I didn't really apply, but some of my friends they did get some help from the government.
So friends, Mia is a lawyer and a painter too, and the quote goes, "Only lawyers and painters can turn white into black."
I love it. It's fantastic.
So tell us about the white and the black. How skilled you really have to be in order to turn that white into black, or to prove that to the justice out there that it's not white, it's black.
It's a sensitive topic, be careful.
Yeah. It has, like, for lawyers, it has to be what it, like, you have to do what you believe in. So, for example, with some of my clients, as I mentioned, I gave an example before, if someone purchased the house with some damage to the house without the inspection, and then I have to be the one trying to negotiate some sort of like a settlement for them on the day of closing, I have to believe that they're actually entitled to get that, plus I have to have some legal supporting, like a background or like underlying foundation that would also support our position. There has to be some case law, there has to be some doctrine of law, there has to be something else that will help me to build my case. So it's a combination of multiple factors. It's also the matter of how the parties work with each other. Is the vendors and the purchasers, are they in a good relationship? Is the agents are in a good relationship? People are willing to cooperate. That being said, in what I do in transactional real estate, no one really is willing to change the purchase price on closing despite the damage. So it has to be really something very, very major in order for that to happen. So it really depends on the file, and it really depends on what you deal with. So
Yep. Yes, Rida. Rida is thinking. So don't come with some hard questions, eh?
Okay, I wanted to know about, there are many people who have a set direction, right? Like, that you want to be a lawyer, you want to be a real estate lawyer, it matches your personality. What are the, I would say, what is the drive which keeps you going into achieving your dreams and actually being successful? Like, this is a great success and an inspiration seeing that you have opened your own law firm. I'm sure you have gone through many pros and cons, many challenges, but at the end of the day, you have achieved what you really dreamt of. You have been successful. You believed in your passion. You believed in your determination. You actually, at the end, said, I can do this. Despite my competition, I have the guts to live my dreams and I will do it. So what is that motivation factor which keeps you going and going and going, and success after success after success, and you have to be grateful and humble? But there are people out there who would say that you can do it, but you have to, I would say, roar higher than your own voice internal, saying that I can. I have that can-do attitude. So what is that passion which actually kept you going and it's still keeping you going, saying that, hey, I want to stay in this field, be successful in this field, and at the end of the day, also be a help to people out there who need guidance? So what is that drive?
I think my biggest drive is the knowledge that I can actually be helpful and that my clients, they actually need someone like me. I do see what's happening there on the market. I do see which options my potential clients have. I do know exactly what do they need and what their expectations are, and I do know exactly what they deserve to get. And I know that out of everything, all the options that they have, I would probably be the good match for many of them, just because, you know, I just look back and I just reflect back on all the experiences that I've had in the past and all the conversations I had and all the transactions I had to close. And at this point in time, I know exactly what it is that I can offer, and I know exactly that a lot of my potential clients would want it and they would actually need it. So I know that I can be useful. I know my value. I know that there is a lot of value that I can provide, and that keeps me going. The clients that call me, the clients that look for, like, seek for my services, the clients that ask me questions on the phone, the clients that engage in conversations with me, and every conversation is very important to me because every conversation is very personable to every person I talk to. Not just the real estate, all areas of law, wills and the probates are big those days, and estate law is big those days, and also to some degree the family, to the degree of that being kind of related to real estate. If there is a prenup that has to do with the matrimonial home or things like that, because it's kind of a little bit cross-related to what I do. But every conversation I have, every file I work on is very personable to the person I deal with. And I know that they need someone, they need guidance, they need a sort of like a mentor, a legal mentor. And I know that I have the value that they seek, that they need. And it's my duty to provide them with it, right?
She's beautiful, she's confident, she's an achiever, she is a successful entrepreneur, she is the person who actually followed her dreams. And I really love the way you are expressing your English, because many people are not eloquent in English language, specifically when it's their second language. So good job on that. What else, Kacy? It's time. I think it's almost time to end the show.
But one important question here is that you also belong to IWB, which is Immigrant Women in Business, and I too, and she's also a co-founder. And we've got that lady there, Svetlana. She is motivating and encourager and a soul on earth, boosting, motivating, and making others successful. So tell us more about how you landed at IWB, what your experiences are there, and how is that organization really helped you and others as you've seen with your experiences?
In what I do, network is everything. It really comes down to network. It really comes down to people you surround yourself with, especially being sole practitioner. I don't necessarily have my coworkers around me all the time, and I do still need the presence of a lot of professionals in my life. This organization is amazing because you do get to meet so many people with so many different bright, interesting backgrounds, doing so many interesting things. I come from law. I come from working for various law firms and dealing with mostly lawyers and my clients, but lawyers mostly in the professional way. For me, dealing with someone other than lawyers is amazing, interesting, exciting, and fascinating. I do enjoy meeting people, doing all sorts of things, and just being those very strong overachievers, being so confident, being such a strong believers in the values, that we have there in this organization. And I've known Svetlana for a few years now. I met her through LinkedIn, actually, which is a fantastic platform, I think, for professionals. Mm-hmm. And we were friends for 3 years on LinkedIn now, and wow. I've been watching everything she's been doing through this platform. And
you met me there first.
Yes. And one of the things that I really enjoyed were pictures from the events and how everyone just had this interesting cultural elements to the presence.
Yeah. It says the stronger we are together.
Yes, exactly.
That's the fun part. So I have a quote here. It says, "Out of suffering emerged the strongest souls. The massive characters are seared with scars." Ooh. The massive characters. The bigger you are, the massive you are, the huger you are, you've got scars over you. Only then you become that huge. So those are the strongest souls who've seen failure, who've seen bad times, who've seen challenges, and then they've emerged from those challenges like a phoenix, flying high up there, soaring higher and higher, and becoming that massive character. But don't forget, they have scars. I have scars. Do you have scars, Mia?
We all have scars. Especially being an immigrant. You do go through a very prolonged period of time when you're trying to self-identify again. You're trying to find your place, your people. You're trying to figure out things. Of course, it's been a challenging journey, and it's been the journey full of ups and downs, but at the end of the day, it's all worth it, right?
Yeah, but in our society, people who've got scars, like who've got challenges, who've got failure, who are in the struggle zone, they're looked down upon. So how do you see those? Because we all have to go through those challenges in order to be where we are at this moment. Mm-hmm. So what say?
Well, I think we should be just authentic with ourselves and with others. As I said, I promote the full transparency about who I am. I'm proud of my background. Mm-hmm. And I think our challenges make us who we are at the end of the day. For example, I'm an immigrant, and it's might be looked down or some people can look down at you because you're an immigrant and English is your second language, or maybe because you haven't gotten JD in Canada from UFT or something like that. We do all struggle with that. A lot of lawyers, immigrants do struggle with the feeling that, maybe my credentials are not strong enough or something else. And of course you do compete against lawyers that were born in Canada, raised in Canada. I do understand all of that. But at the end of the day, you're doing what you were meant to do, and I feel like I'm doing what I was meant to do. And every day I do find the reflection of my efforts in others and in transactions that I close, and it's beautiful. That's all I can
That's so nicely said. I really love it, Mia. When you said that, she sees her reflection of her hard work in others. Wow, I really love that. And I just shared a quote in the morning on my Facebook, and I'm really going to read that out. Where you see no way, Spirit sees a way. Where you see limitation, Spirit sees infinity. Where you see only darkness, Spirit also sees light. Where you see only today, Spirit sees deeply into tomorrow. Here my question specifically goes to Rida, because she's a youth today. I know struggle, the word struggle, Rida, and then seeing your spirit, seeing that tomorrow. How do you term the word struggle? What is struggle according to you?
What is the definition of spirits? What do you mean by
spirits? Is your
spirits?
soul, is your energy, is your inner self.
I personally believe that if you really want to achieve something and if you're really determined to have a clear pathway, first of all, we should have a vision of why do I want it, when do I want it, and actually give myself deadlines and goals. Because dreams without goals are just words, right? So I think we have faced a lot of struggles. I think struggle is a part of success. Like you can't have success without failure. And failure is the first attempt in learning. That's what fail means, F-A-I-L, which means first attempt in learning. And I think if you're actually determined and prepared for success, Mia, like correct me if I'm wrong, if you actually are preparing for successful life and believing in that, hey, this is what I want, this is what I believe in, and I will get it no matter what comes what actually comes away and who comes out of my way. But I think struggle actually builds you, makes you, strengthens you, and actually makes you that warrior inside you that I still want to win this battle and I still want to face the world and I will get what I want no matter what and no matter whoever stops me. I will be a successful entrepreneur, a successful professor, a successful HR representative, and actually will get that deservable job because I really believe in myself. And you know what? The world conspires you to actually get what you want, and at the end you do get it because you're so determined towards it. But you know what actually lacks the success? Do you know what lacks the success? It's your internal passion of never giving up attitude and staying positive even if you feel struggles.
So this is one question I was about to ask. Let's say, I must say youth who are born here, like Rida, you are a native Canadian. People who come from other countries, they are immigrants, right? They're immigrant Canadians. Now those people, they've gone through various steps in order to reach the country, immigrate to the country, and then redo the degrees, the qualifications and everything in order to get that job, that particular job into their old field. Before that, they have to really struggle and work hard. So a person who's a native Canadian and one who's an immigrant Canadian, Rida, you got everything in your plate. You're born with a golden spoon in your mouth. But as compared to the ones who are immigrants, who've done this thing, who've gone through these much more harder struggles, you call your work a struggle, but then this is the struggle itself. So how do you differentiate?
I would answer this question with a quote, and it's also time to end our show. I will answer that question with a quote. Mia, any last message to your audience out there? She's an amazing entrepreneur and she's an amazing person, amazing human being. I wish you best of successes and I wish you very good qualified clients. If you have any real estate law questions, contact her because she's the expert in it and a genuine trusted advisor at the same time.
Thank you so much. It was an honor being here with you today, and thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me share my story and talk about law and talk about my passion. And I just wish everyone success with your transactions, whatever it is that your ongoing transaction is. And I hope you'll find the perfect lawyer match for yourself in your future.
You can announce your website and your number too.
Yes, www.mmalaw.ca, and my cell is 416-500-5620.
Access to justice. Agile, transparent, and professional. Mia is for all your real estate needs, to do that last transaction so that you can get that house. It's her. She's the support. She's the help, everybody. Thank you, Mia, for being on KacyCExcel show, your lead to excellence.
You can't control everything. Sometimes you just need to relax, have faith, and let things go. And let life just happen. We'll see you with a brand new show with a brand new guest. Till that time, keep watching Live with KacyCExcel on PTN 24.